take a drug test before my first day at Amazon, and I'm on the drive right now. I'm gonna tell you what the process was like. So I had to drive an hour out to the main Amazon to get it done there. I tell you where your drug test is gonna be and what time you need to arrive. And then you gotta make sure you have all your step 1 documents done. So you need to upload your birth certificate or social, and then a photo of your ID. And you need to have that done before you get there. And then you also have to upload a photo of yourself for the badge, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, before you go there. You put on my cruise control. Cop right there. You're not slick. So I get in, and they have this little waiting room that has, oh, that's surprisingly not a cop, just a cop vehicle. When you get there, you have a little waiting room, at least at my location that I did my test at, and then someone with a badge lets you through. So then you sign in on this tablet, and you gotta wait, which is like 2 waiting rooms for some reason. You gotta wait on a chair inside where the actual English test is done, and also where you do your drug test. So then you sit down with the lady at the front desk. She pulls all your info, and then she'll assign the test to you. Then you have to go on either an iPad or a laptop to go do your English test. The English test has you just do basic English proficiency. So it's just making sure that, and he's gonna cut me off. You have to make sure that you just understand like basic English. Like they'll give you a question, and it'd be like, what time is it? Your answers are gonna be A, it's 9 o'clock. B, yes, I read the newspaper. C, no, I don't want to go get donuts. Like something like that. And then you're also gonna have to read it out loud, and then it will record it. You have to do that like for 8 times, and then twice you're gonna listen to a story, and then you have to repeat as much of the story as you can. I was surprised that they used the mouth swabs. I was thinking either like the P-test mouth, and then sit there with the swab in your mouth for 2 minutes to make sure that it actually gets it. And then they don't administer it for you. You just sit on a computer. You sit in front of this tablet, and then the tablet will tell you when you're done using the mouth swab. It took me in total about an hour to do everything. And then with the mouth swab, once you complete it, you twist the swab back into the bottle, and then it'll start populating the results. And then you have to grab the iPad off the rack and take a picture of the back of it, and also input the information on the back so they know which swab belongs specifically to you. Like, the people were really nice, and they made it super easy to get everything done. And then they made sure I knew like what my schedule was gonna be, and then they answered any questions that I had to the best of their abilities. They couldn't tell me if like what the headphone policy would be at my warehouse. She just told me that usually there's 2 headphones that are approved by Amazon that you can buy. And if the warehouse allows headphones, then you have to use one of those usually. And then your first day in training, for me, it was still like 2 weeks after I did the drug test, and I'm still like a week out from that. But that's because usually when you take an Amazon job, you only have to wait 2 weeks and then you start. Mine was actually 3 weeks, so it's taking a little longer. And then after you do your drug test, you have to order your shoes, because you can only use composite toe shoes at Amazon. It's a safety requirement. And they give you an $110 credit and 10% off. You have to use a specific site, because you have to make sure that it meets the requirements. I ended up ordering cat boots as mines, but the Timberlands, Carhartt, they had a bunch of really good brands as options. But if it's anything more than the credit, you have to pay for it. So in my case, my shoes cost me $13, and they were like $130, $140 shoes. Is in about a week. That video is coming. Subscribe if you want to see how day one goes and what it's like doing orientation at Amazon.